Hello, hello, and we are live. It's Leah here, and I'm very excited to be teaching this class today. This is a special encore class. We had such a demand of people who either couldn't make the whole thing, or they wanted to see it again, or they wanted to bring a bandmate or somebody, their spouse, to see what all was going on. So we are offering this encore class. It's what I taught on Wednesday. So I'm very excited to have you all here. I see people popping on. We're going to start right at the top of the hour. And so we're just going to chill and hang out. So in the meantime, let me know where you're coming from and what kind of music you play. I myself am a Celtic metal artist. That's my micro niche. And I was just chilling out. I was just blasting some music here right before I came on. It's a German folk metal band that I love called Equilibrium. So in case there's any metal fans in the house, I absolutely love them. They get me completely just fired up, pumped up. Hey, Randy, how's it going? He's coming from Ottawa and female fronted Celtic rock. Woohoo! That's awesome. Good to see some other Celtic rock people in the house. Who else is here? Tell me where you're coming from and what kind of music you play. And just for fun, I'm going to put a poll in here, and you can tell me which one best describes you. Are you a singer, a songwriter? Are you an instrumentalist or a producer, or you do it all? Let me know which one best describes you. This is just for fun. Awesome. We've got Shauna's coming from California who does pop, hip hop, rap. Michael does new age instrumental. This is so fun, guys. Sarah's coming from Atlanta, does pop rock, punk pop and singer songwriter. VJ is a singer songwriter and composer. You sing Indian Bollywood songs. That is so cool. Abby does classical and Celtic flutist. She's a Celtic flutist from San Francisco. Welcome. Hey, David. And we've got someone from Houston. Yes, I am actually live. This is 100% live. Hey, guys, we're going to be starting in just a few minutes. Second. Hey guys, I'm still here. Can you all hear me? Hey guys, let me know if you can hear me yet. Oh, everyone's saying you guys can hear me. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, awesome. Yay! Technology. Gotta love first world problems, right? Awesome. Okay, we are going to get started. I am excited. Type yes in the chat right now if you are excited to get the behind the scenes of my six-figure music business, where I'm going to show you absolutely everything, all the components of how I built this thing from scratch. Put in the chat yes. Put yes, I'm excited to learn. Right on. All right, let's start. So, hey, welcome to this behind the scenes class of my six-figure music business. And this is all about smart strategies that you can apply right now to win in the new music industry. There's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of different theories on what's working, what's not working, and everyone's running around like a chicken with their head cut off. But that's not going to happen after today. After today, you're going to have my entire blueprint for what I have done to build this thing from the ground up. And I guarantee this is going to be the best thing that you have done all year long. I promise you that. Now, who here is serious about their music? Type Y in the chat for yes, N for no, and M for meh. Like, meh, I'm kind of serious. Who here is serious about their music? Because I believe that if you showed up today, that pretty much everyone who showed up today is a serious musician. Otherwise, why would you be here? You wouldn't really come. So now I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. I'm going to highly recommend that you turn off your texts, put your phone on silent, close your other tabs if you have them open. Because seriously, I know how ADD that we are, because I am myself. I always have 100 tabs open, but do yourself a favor and focus on this. I'll also be asking you some questions to win something, okay? So you have to pay attention the whole time in order to not miss it, and this is for your benefit. Now, this information that I'm sharing with you works together as a complete picture. Like I said, I'm going to be showing you all the components of how I built a six-figure music business. So if you're distracted, you're only going to get a piece of it here and there. Like if you're browsing around on Facebook and something else, you're not going to see results in the same way. It's going to be an incomplete picture. So now, here's my bold promise to you, is by the end of this class, you're going to know the secrets of professional musicians out there who are killing it online. They're making 4, 5, and 6 figures each year. And I'm not counting touring. Touring is like icing on the cake, but it's not even part of the equation in my formula. Now, you may have heard other people out there claiming all kinds of things, and I am the first to admit there's a lot of crap on the internet. There's all kinds of false claims. There's scammers out there. I've personally been subject to some of it, so I just want to acknowledge that I know this is a big promise, and it might even sound unbelievable to some of you. And I, too, was skeptical that anything like this was possible after years of hearing that the music industry was dead. So I'm so glad that I stopped listening to that, and you will be too by the end of this class. So I encourage you to stay until the end. I promise it will be worth your while. Now, just a quick question before we dig in. If I promise to give you great content, do I have your permission to take 10 minutes to also give you a great offer for you to consider about how we could work more closely together at the end? Now, if that sounds fair, type yes in the chat. Because this is totally up to you. I love teaching this stuff. I could do it in my sleep. But if you take the knowledge I'm about to teach you in this class and you run with it, there's a lot you can do. Now, I do want to share with you how we can work closely together at the end, and I think I can take you much farther and much faster with it. So I'm motivated to give you really good content right now. So my heart is to truly help change the music industry forever, and so that's why both you and I are here right now. Now, just for sticking around until the end, I'm going to give you an additional free bonus. Like we have a couple of cash prizes happening, but I'm also going to give you 2 free bonuses at the end of this training right after the Q&A. So number 1 is you don't have to worry about asking me to go back to a slide that you missed, because I'm going to give you the slides from this class at the end when you stick around. I'm going to give you the whole thing. And I'm also going to hook you up with a very important workbook that's going to show you how to find something that we'll be talking about in this webinar. And it's one of the keys that I built my whole music career around, and I'm going to give you the workbook so you can do it yourself. So you're going to get access to that at the very end. So make sure you stay on. It's a very smart decision that you made to be here right now. All right, let's start with the first cash prize right now. And then the next one's going to be after the Q&A at the end. So I'm going to ask you a question, and the very first person to put the right answer in the chat is going to win. Now, in order to get this prize, you had to be paying attention to the first confirmation email you got from me, okay? Now, the question is, what 3 things from you am I asking for in return for sharing this information? Okay? It was in the very first email, confirmation email you got when you signed up for this. What 3 things from you am I asking for in return for sharing this information? Oh, we have somebody already typing it in the chat. That is awesome. Looks like Randy Waugh. Our admins are going to stand by. Oh, yes, Randy Waugh is the winner. This is the answers. Number 1, you show up live. Number 2, you keep an open mind for 60 minutes. And number 3, you ask me your question at the end. Woohoo! That was very, very good. That seemed awfully fast, Randy. How did you know that so fast? Okay, awesome. Now, let me just talk to you about who I am and why the heck you should listen to me. I'm not going to go on about myself for too long, but I just want to give you a bio, but just to give you a little background. So first of all, I'm a stay-at-home mother. I have 5 kids under the ages of 11. I've been a singer, songwriter, musician my whole life, but I didn't get more serious about it until after I had a family. So I did things completely backwards. I also grew up thinking that my dream was to get signed and get this awesome record deal. Now, when that didn't happen, it was depressing. I sent countless emails. I sent press kits out. I sent snail mail to A&R agents and record companies out there, and I never heard back. And I was just like, I thought this was my destiny. Like I thought for sure if I sent out something, I would get a response. Now, pretty soon I gave up on that whole label idea, and it was a little depressing. Like I said, I thought basically my music was going to have to stay a hobby in my basement and on the computer. Now, when Facebook, YouTube, and some of these other platforms started taking off, I became very observant. I saw this new online scene emerge for artists, and I had to ask myself, could this be a way for me? So I uploaded my first album to YouTube, and virtually every other artist profile site I could find out there. It was SoundCloud and Reverb Nation and all these artist profile sites. I uploaded my music everywhere thinking somebody's going to have to find my music. Well, absolutely nothing happened. Again, disappointing, kind of depressing. And I actually started to doubt myself, and I was like, am I even any good? Like, do I suck? Why am I doing all the right things that I know to do? And why is no one discovering me? So after all that, it was 6 months later or so, and I started to get some listeners on some of my YouTube tracks. And I started to realize that even though this was encouraging, it showed me that I had become a needle in a massive haystack. It also showed me that I had the false belief that if you build it, they will come, just like that movie Field of Dreams. And I believed that if my music was good and I was truly talented, good things are just going to happen organically, that someone's going to come across my music and all my dreams would come true. That was totally wrong. Now, to make things worse, I didn't even have the advantage of touring and making a name for myself at festivals and local shows because I was at home with little kids. So that just wasn't going to work. So at this point, I was facing some major problems here. And I want you to tell me which one of these you really relate to. This was kind of my external struggle in a way. You know, when you study stories, people have an external struggle and an internal struggle, like Star Wars and all the best movies out there. Well, this was my external struggle. One was that I had no true fans yet. For me, I couldn't tour. I could not tour at the moment. I didn't have a lot of money to invest into my music at all. And I also did not have a lot of extra time. Anything I was going to have to do would be on the side whenever I could squeeze it in. In my case, it was, you know, nap time and when the kids were in bed and when my husband watched the kids on the weekend, that kind of thing. So which one of these four do you relate to the most? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, or all of the above? I can't see, Steve, if you have a poll going right now, but let me know if we do, because I'm curious to see which one of you guys are really fine. Like which one of these resonates with you? It sounds like all of them, a lot of them, all of the above, 3, all of the above, 1 and 2, all of them. Yeah. Well, let me tell you what happened next. I was also feeling down on myself due to this. Now, this was my internal struggle. This is what was going on inside of me. Those were things that I felt like I couldn't control on the outside. And this is what was happening on the inside for me. I hadn't had any success with anything I tried at all. So I was really discouraged after nothing else worked. I had poured hundreds of hours into research. So, you know, that was very discouraging. I also, what that led to was doubting myself. Like I wasn't sure if I was any good now. Shouldn't my music be famous already? The other thing was I didn't know how to sell music or anything. So I was afraid of coming off slimy and desperate when I asked people to buy my music. I didn't want that feeling of desperation. And I also felt kind of defeated since everyone all over the news and media just kept saying over and over again, oh, the music industry is dead, ever since Napster came out. Which one of these do you most relate to? 1, 2, 3, or 4, or all of the above? For me, it was just like an overwhelming mountain of all of that discouragement, both the external struggles and these internal struggles. Yeah. Yeah, Alexandra says all of them. I feel that too. 3 mostly. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So here's the deal. I ended up having this really cool light bulb moment. I started spending a lot of time researching and studying what the heck I could do to build my fan base online and generate a bit of income. Now, I had 2 motivating factors for this goal. Why did I want to do that? Number 1 was I needed to fulfill the destiny I couldn't ignore. The destiny I couldn't ignore. Now, I believe that you listening to this today have also been called to music, whether it's full-time, part-time, doesn't matter. If music has been gifted to you, you actually have a duty and an obligation to bring that to the world because it's not just meant for you. Your music is not just meant for you. It's also meant for the people who are supposed to hear it. I've got all kinds of messages that have come in over the years from people just telling me about how a song of mine like saved them in this really dark moment. And it's like absolutely humbling. Like you have no idea how your music could affect other people, even just to put them in a better mood. Like that's a calling that you can't ignore. So that was number 1. And number 2 was I wanted to self-fund my music. I didn't want to have to like save up for months and months on end just to, you know, record an EP. I wanted to self-fund my music. I wanted to be self-sustaining. And I really wanted to help bring in a second income for my family if that was even possible. So here's what happened. This was my light bulb moment. One day I came across this random article by a random guy who is now famous for writing this piece. And maybe you've heard of it. Let me know if you have. It's called 1,000 True Fans by a guy named Kevin Kelly. He's this Amish-looking dude who was the founder, editor of Wired magazine. Now, in his article, Kevin talked about the power of having 1,000 diehard fans. He called them 1,000 true fans. Now, his idea was with 1,000 true fans, you can live a pretty good life. And he said in here, it's simple. You just need 1,000 fans to pay you $100 each. Then you have $100,000 a year. Now, I thought about that and he was right, because at the time, I didn't even care about making $100,000. Like, seriously, back then, if you just showed me a way to make $10,000 or $20,000 consistently as a musician, you would have been my best friend. So it's a really, really great article. Definitely look it up. Now, I thought about this a little more after the fact, and I thought, well, let me break this down in some other ways and see what this looks like. So let's just look at this for a second. You could have 1,000 super fans, is what I call them, pay $100 a year. That's $100,000. Or you could, let's go the other way. You could have 500 super fans a year pay $200 a year, which is not hard to do between all these different things that we can offer. I just paid like $600 for concert tickets for my family. Like, that is not difficult. 500 times $200 a year, that's $100,000. Or let's go the other way. 2,000 super fans who pay $50 a year for your music. That's $100,000. 3,000 fans who only pay $25 a year. That's $100K a year. So there's many ways you can look this up, or that you can split it up. Or even, let's just bring this income level down. What if you only had, by next year, 1,000 super fans pay $25 a year? That would be an extra $25,000. Would you complain? Would that be so bad? Would you be able to fund an album with that? Would you be able to live off of that a bit? Would you be able to make your next video? Like, what would you be doing with that? So tell me in the chat right now, what is your first income goal? What's your income goal? How many super fans would you like to have a year from now? 1 year from now, what is your first income goal and super fan goal? Mark says 3,000 times 25. $1,000. Paul says 1,000. Adam says 1,000, paying 50. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. It's good. You got to have some goals here. And this is where it started out. Like, absolutely nothing happened in my music career until I set myself this goal. So I actually want you to write this down. You're telling me in the chat, but I want you to write it down somewhere else, like on a Post-it note, or, write it on your hand with a pen or something. Like, you've got to put this on paper somewhere. So write down the amount that you want to shoot for 1 year from now. Now, ever since I read Kevin's article and I wrote my goal down, I put all my focus into that one thing, finding my 1,000 true fans. That's it. And here's what happened. After I read his article, everything I did shifted. Okay. I started only doing things to build my audience of 1,000 true fans. I started learning social media. I started building my email list, and I did a couple of crowdfunding campaigns. Now, I put his theory to the test, and to my shock and delight, I raised over $27,000 in a single campaign for an album I hadn't even written yet. Now, I was earning royalties from digital sales and selling CDs, and this was a life-changing decision to only focus on that 1,000 true fans. Now, months later, things only began to snowball slowly but surely from there. Now, with much hard work and continued dedication, I crossed into that 6-figure per mark goal, which was absolutely a pinch me moment. I still can't believe that this is the reality I'm in. So here's an example. In 2015, I made nearly $35,000 just from one stream of income. This was my digital sales and royalties. You're looking at my TuneCore statement here. This is my digital distribution platform that I use. And keeping in mind that this was only 1 out of 5 streams of income that I had set up. 1 out of 5. So I had 4 other things going at the time. So that was incredibly life-changing. Do you think that would change your life just a little bit. If you made $35,000 in digital sales in a year, would that change your life? And please know that when I'm sharing this stuff with you, not for 1 second is this a brag of any kind. You need to see that this is possible. Since then, my Facebook page is just absolutely taken off. I'll be getting close to 2,000 4- and 5-star reviews, all raving fans. Social media just really, really snowballed for me, and I've learned so much there. And there's also a screenshot of my crowdfunding campaign that I did. And at the moment, I've really gotten into merchandise as well online. And at the moment, I'm doing between $5,000 and $10,000 every single month just in merchandise. So that's a different stream of income. Again, this is 1 out of 5, which is really a pinch me moment. This is just from September here. So, this is incredible. Like I don't even perform live. Like this is just online sales. I'm not even selling merch at booths or anything like that. So it's an incredible, incredible time to be a musician right now. So here's the thing. I have redefined what the dream is and what that means for me. I am living it, and you need to be doing the same thing. You've got to redefine what that dream is, whatever you thought it was and what it should be for you now. You've got to define that. For me, it's that I have dedicated diehard super fans who can't wait to buy my next album. They're drooling. They're waiting for anything else I make. They regularly buy my merchandise. They join the fan clubs. They show unbelievable support. That's my definition. And for me, I also wanted to be able to make money from it. So that was my definition of success. I even had to hire a virtual assistant. So I have an assistant now helping me part-time process my orders and answer fan mail and help with some of the admin because it's gotten so overwhelming in a really good way. And this is where you're heading. At this point, I feel like a legitimate music business. And I think this is where you can go as well. It's like my own label. I work for myself when I want and how I want. What's better than that? Like, why would I ever want to go to some big corporate label where they take all that away from me? I'm not even tempted. They'd have to offer something so amazing that I couldn't refuse. And I just don't see that happening. It's the most amazing feeling ever to not only have those fans that love you, but really give your talent and your music that recognition that it deserves. And it's not limited to your local town. And the whole world is waiting to discover your music if they know how to find you. Okay, that's the key. If they know how to find you, this is the hard part. Now, I gotta tell you I've made every mistake under the sun before all of this happened, okay? Like I learned the hard way here. I spent hours uploading my music to every artist profile site out there. I got scammed by artist services that promised me exposure and licensing deals that never amounted to anything. Man, that ticked me off. I spent time, I spent money, I spent effort trying to get fans and exposure just to get someone listening to my music. If you have felt similar or if any of this resonates with you, type yes in the chat right now. Type yes, because I know how this feels. I know what you're going through. And I want you to know it doesn't have to be this hard. So let me know if you have also learned the hard way and have tried things and they didn't work. I want you to stick with me now because we are about to dig into some really juicy stuff now. And I hope you have a pen available. Okay, because here's the thing. If you are thinking of taking your music to the next level, now is the time to do it. The IFPI, which is a research website, they stated that in 2016, the global recorded music market grew by 5.9%, which is the fastest rate of growth since they began all their research back in 1997. And here's a few other little fun facts for you. Fun fact, Leah. Digital revenues, grew by 17.7% to $7.8 billion, driven by a sharp 60% growth in streaming revenue, the largest growth in 8 years. Isn't that interesting? Everyone's telling us it's destroying the music business, but this is what's growing, and the revenue is growing from this. Now, 50%, here's a breakdown, 50% of revenue is coming from digital and streaming. 34% of revenue is still coming from physical sales. That's why I'm getting so much into merchandise right now. And 14% is coming from performance rights. So that's your touring and live stuff. And then only 2% comes from sync licensing. I don't spend any time on licensing stuff at all. And maybe I'll get into that one day. But as you can see, your best time and effort is spent here in the digital world, the online stuff and the merchandise, as well as a few other things that you can do like fan clubs. And I teach all of that actually in one of my modules in the Online Musician, the different streams of income, how to set it all up. But you can see why that I'm focusing here. I mean, I didn't know the statistic when I was starting out, but now you do. And so now you can see where you should be spending your time. Now, what does all this mean? It means that fans are still consuming music and they're buying music and that it's only growing. What's changing is the way they are consuming it. Okay, so we're about to have a massive explosion of growth in music. And if you take the time to learn a few simple marketing principles, you can win in this industry. You can ride this amazing wave. I'm talking to you. Now, it also means that we, the artists, must take, evil word, responsibility for changing with the way the consumer wants to experience our music, okay? But also without pledging ourselves to be starving and broke the rest of our lives. So if we know that the market wants streaming and they want digital and they want online access, they want instant, they want it now, well, we've got to take responsibility for changing with that and finding creative ways to make it work. We got to be creative. So I don't believe that you need to be starving and broke. That's not necessary. You've seen, I'm a stay-at-home mom and I don't tour. Am I starving and broke? Absolutely not. And all of that success, by the way, happened before I started teaching this Savvy Musician Academy. This is born out of all of that struggle that I went through. And when I came out the other side and my friends were begging and asking me to share with them, frankly, I didn't have time to keep explaining it over and over again. So I started putting it into an ebook. I put it into a process. And before I knew it, we're now helping thousands of musicians around the world. So I just want you to know that what you're hearing now, what I'm teaching and me doing this as a coach has come out of my personal struggle, and that all the failure, all the success happened before Savvy Musician Academy. So let's talk about why most are failing right now. Number one is you've been told that you need to be perfect. You've got to be the right age, the right weight, the right shape, color, and everything. Man, I struggle with this one still. I still struggle with this. Number two, you were taught that if you work really, really hard and you play all the gigs possible and you eat, sleep, and breathe your music 24/7, and you do that for 10 to 15 years, you might maybe have a chance. Maybe. Do you relate to that one? Or number three, the media told you that you would need a record deal to truly succeed. And if you stay independent, no one's going to take you seriously. If you're not signed, then you're obviously not a true artist. So which one of these do you most relate to? For me, it was all of them. I still struggle with number one, no matter what, because it's been like ingrained into us just through the media. But here's the thing. If digital sales are increasing and there's so much amazing music out there, these are the reasons why people aren't making it. It all starts in their head. It's all coming from their mindset. That last one really gets me fired up, and I totally fell prey to that one because I really just thought that I wasn't a true artist if I wasn't signed. So I want you to know that you are not alone. I have been through this already, and I've come out the other side, and so many are experiencing what you are right now. All right. Now, I was exactly where you are at this moment until I was studying my butt off and I learned 3 vital secrets that catapulted me to where I am now in my music career. Do you want to know those 3 secrets? Type yes in the chat. I want to know if you're energized and ready to make a change, and you're ready to make that change in your current state, in your life, in your music business. You have to type yes if you want me to go on and actually dig in and if you're ready to take notes, because I'm ready. I'm seeing the whole chat fill up with yeses. All right, this is great. Someone said no. Okay. Well, you definitely don't have to listen. See you later. Everybody else wants to hear this. Okay. Here are the 3 secrets I'm going to teach you. Okay. Secret number 1, how to stand out and attract fans to you like a magnet. Secret number 2, how to automate building your fan base 24/7, 365. I'm building my fan base right now while I'm here. Not doing that. It's happening right now. Secret number 3, how to create a cash machine from your online music. Okay, I'm going to break all of these down. Now, there are 3 phases that are directly tied to each of those objectives. Okay, and I'm going to, believe me, this is going to sound like what, but I'm going to break it all down for you. Phase number 1, the artist identity infrastructure. Phase number 2, the fan generation machine. And the phase 3 is your acceleration and scaling. And you might be like, WTF, Leah, what are you talking about? I'm going to break it down for you right now. Okay. So you might want to take a screenshot of this or get a pen. Get a pen because I'm going to be talking about each and every single one of these points. So number 1, here's where I started out from ground zero when I had no fans. I focused on my artist identity infrastructure. And the whole focus here was figuring out who am I, what is my music all about, and how can I build an organic foundation. Okay, so I'm going to explain each one of these for you. By the end, remember, you're also going to get these slides at the very end. So, number 1, quality music. The very first thing you need, right? Without this quality music, without music that people really want to hear, we're not going to make it very far. All right. Now, we're not going to act like we're some kind of big corporate label where we have millions of dollars at our disposal to promote mediocre music en masse and still come out profitable. They can do whatever they want because they have that cash, they have that capital to do that. That's not going to work for us. We have to approach this more like a grassroots movement. And the only way grassroots movements take off is when there's something really valuable, something meaningful. And this is going to require that high quality music. And I don't just mean like, the audio quality. I'm talking about like music that moves people's soul. It has to be, you have to stumble across something magical like that. Okay. Number 2 is the micro niche. Okay. Again, we're still focusing on our identity and organic foundation, the micro niche. This is the second thing you really need. Now, here's the big idea. You can either be a small fish in a big pond, or you can be the big fish in a small pond. So like I said, the internet and Spotify and YouTube, it's a huge ocean. It's a giant haystack and you are a tiny needle. You're in an ocean with tons and tons and tons of other fish, which is your competition. They're all competing for the same ears, the same eyeballs. Now, it's much easier to be successful with a very specific group of high quality fans. Now, with a micro niche, one of the keys to this is you've got to ask yourself, what's your unique twist? If you don't have one, you might need to refine that some more. But it's something that really sets you apart. What makes you different from everybody else? Now, I have a very specific method to help you discover your micro niche. Originally, it took me 2 years to figure it out. That was because there was no method. No one taught any of this. I don't know of anybody else who teaches how to find your micro niche. I think I might be the only one out there doing this. So I've come up with a very specific method, and you're going to get that at the very end of this class. Okay. After the Q&A, I have a download for you that will help teach you how to find your micro niche. This is actually the key. The total key to my success was finding that micro niche. That was one of the massive catapults. Next in this phase is learning to master social media. And I don't mean all the social media in the whole world. I really only mean 1 or 2 platforms tops. 1 or 2 tops, like mainly Facebook and probably YouTube. It could be Instagram for you, depending on your audience. To be a sustainable musician means you need to leverage your time. You have to leverage your time. And the best way to do that is social media. Why would I play a gig for 12 people staring at their phones when I can send out a post or a little video of me playing something and reach potentially hundreds of thousands of people in an hour? Why would I do that? But this part of the phase is essentially focusing on the free traffic. That is social media, is free traffic. Now, if you master this, you're definitely going to get a snowball effect. And if you don't master social media and free traffic, by the way, you're not going to have many results from paid traffic. A lot of people want to skip all this stuff and go straight to paid ads, and they want to do Facebook advertising and stuff. I am going to talk about that in this, by the way, because we're going to talk about some of the advanced things I do. But you got to know that if you are not getting any results whatsoever from social media, it's not time just yet to get into paid traffic and advertising. Now, the whole goal of social media is to build culture and community around your music. That is probably a new concept to most of you. That was a totally new concept to me. And I learned that from studying business in general. I did not learn any of the stuff actually you're hearing about today. Didn't learn any of that from studying the music business. None of it. I've been taking business courses for years now, a lot of them. And I learned all of this from studying what is working online at all in any industry. And these are the things that I learned, and I started applying them to my music. So that's why it works so well. Because most musicians are not doing any of this. So the fact that you're learning this right now is like you are getting some high level strategy stuff right now that I hope you're writing down. So your social media, it must do one of three things. It must entertain, inspire, or educate your audience. It's mainly got to be entertaining in one way or another. Okay. The next is I want to talk about culture and community. This is a huge phase. And this, by the way, it's not like you master this and then you graduate. These are things we're doing continuously all the time. Now, with culture and community, it is imperative that you learn how to build that culture around your micro niche. It has a lot to do with who you are and what your music is all about. Believe it or not, it's also to do with some of the common interests and hobbies that might have nothing to do with your music, but it fits alongside of the theme of your culture. If you happen to browse on my page, it's facebook.com/Leah the Music. If you notice on my page, I only post something about my music or merchandise 10 to 20% of the time. There might be a day where I post more of that than others, usually to do with announcements, but this is also another secret to my music success is this one thing, is figuring out my culture. And I really have dialed that in really well. And there's always more, and it's gonna morph and stuff. But for the main part, I have a really, really solid theme going on my page. Like if you can't scroll down your page and within 3 seconds know what your music is and culture is all about without actually listening to your music, then you have work to do. You have work to do. Okay. A lot of this is experimenting and learning what's going to work with our audience. The next part is branding. Now, you've got to know that your brand and your image go hand in hand, but it's not to do with your logo. I mean, logo is just one little piece of the pie. Your logo should reflect your brand, and what your brand is actually who you are, what your music is all about. And believe it or not, your brand correlates to a feeling that people get. You want them to have a consistent feeling whenever they visit your website, whenever they visit your YouTube channel, whenever they visit your Instagram. They should have that same feeling. So you're actually like tying a feeling to an image and to your music. So it's kind of sounds abstract to talk about it this way, but here's what you need to know. You need consistency across all platforms. So that means whatever your look and feel is on your Facebook page needs to have the same look and feel on your website. If it's completely disjointed, if like all your banners on Facebook are black and you've got red printing and all of that, and then I go to your website and it's like pink and orange with like weird photos that like Do you see, like, people will not know that it's the same artist. You actually break their trust. You break their trust when you've got disjointed stuff happening across different platforms. So consistency. It doesn't have to be the exact same photo and images, but it has to have the same feeling. Branding is a feeling. Branding is your culture. Branding is who you are and what your music is all about and why people listen to you. So there's a lot that goes into that, a lot to learn there. Launching your music online, learning how to do this properly is, oh my goodness, very, very key to having any success online with this. So first of all, you need an audience. You need an audience to launch your music to. Now, when I started out, I didn't have an audience. I was starting from ground zero. So in that scenario, you need music, right? You got to have something out there to market with. But after that, we are perpetually building our audience 365 days a year, constantly, every day. We should be building an audience, and you should not rely on hope marketing, like uploading your music to the internet and then hoping people will find you. That's not marketing. That is not marketing. Putting your music and posting it on your Facebook page, that's not marketing. Did you know that? Real marketing is all three of these things. Real marketing is predictable, it's repeatable, and it's scalable. Now that might sound kind of like businessy talk, business babble, but these are things that if you learn how to do these things, you are going to see incredible results that nobody else is seeing because you actually are willing to learn this stuff. And when you know how to launch your music online, you can relaunch your old music online every single day to new people. This is what I do on it, basically what they call evergreen. Every single day, there's new people that I'm launching my music to because they've never heard it before. It's new to them. It's brand new to them. So I love that system. So here is the artist identity infrastructure all in one slide. Again, you can take a screenshot, but I'll be giving you these slides at the end if you stick around. It's quality music, your micro niche, mastering social media, free traffic, your culture and community, branding, and learning how to launch your music online. This correlates back to that secret number one, how to stand out and make new fans notice you. This is how you get noticed. All of this is actually covered in the online musician course, which I'll tell you about later. But each of these topics are actually covered in a single module. So each of these, it takes us a whole module to go through each one of those topics. I love hearing from my students. We have thousands of students now. One of our guys, he's a songwriter, and he said, while using this system, I've developed a strong Facebook fan base. I've converted some of them into email list members, and I've sold 300 copies so far of my latest album. It's more than paid for the course. I'm calling that a win. Heck yeah, I'm calling that a win. That is awesome. Let's go to the second part of the fan generation machine, or of our 6-figure music business. Hey, maybe for you, it's going to be 4 figures at first, and then you move into 5 figures. I'm not setting 6 figures as like the gold standard by any means. When I made my first $5,000, my first $10,000, that changed my life. That changed my family's life. So I don't want you to think that 6 figures is the be all. A lot of us can live on so much less than that. But this is the second phase, the fan generation machine. And in this phase, we are focusing on automation and audience building. Now we're getting a little more advanced. So for those of you who you kind of already have a good sense of that you've maybe mastered the first phase, maybe you're looking to get a little more advanced already, this is the phase that you'll be focusing on a little more. So this is basically the promised land for musicians in this digital age. This is where you're going. And if you're not here yet, or you're like, oh my goodness, I haven't even mastered like one of those things from the first phase. Don't worry. I want to cast a vision for you. I want you to know where you're going to end up. Because when you master that first stage, this is the next step. This stage is where superfans are finding you. You basically have a machine turned on, and you're building your list every single day. You're getting messages from them. They're reviewing your page, giving you 4 or 5 reviews. They're actually buying your music. I have basically, like I said, a machine turned on that locates and attracts these superfans. So at this point, I really think that making $30,000, $50,000 a year is not far out of reach at all when you consider the 5 different income streams that I teach. So let's talk about the first point here, and that is paid traffic, mainly Facebook ads, okay? Holy smokes, man. This is amazing. Like, Facebook ads deserves its own category because of how powerful they are. It's a really big part of my machine. It works amazingly well when you have already mastered that artist identity infrastructure. People who try to jump to this stuff without mastering that are going to spend a lot of money, and it's basically flushing it down the toilet. It's very, very important that you do your research first so that your Facebook ads are really super targeted and dialed in, and that you're reaching your perfect audience that is most likely to contain your future superfans. Now, there's a lot to this piece of the pie. There's a lot to learn. And if you have the proper training, you can make a lot of money from Facebook ads. Brian, I see you're asking, are my Facebook ads reaching my fans with new algorithms? Heck yeah, they are. Absolutely. Organic, we're seeing a little, some reprioritization for organic posts in the feed. That's why you have to make sure the content is better, because Facebook is so filled. Basically, they've reached max capacity of how much can be shown in the news feed, Brian, that they can be picky and choosy about who is going to see your stuff or not see your stuff. So that means we've got to be more competitive with better content. The better content is going to be seen. But I'm talking about paid traffic here. When I'm paying for traffic, people are going to see it, but it's also you're bidding. So that means that the best content is going to be shown the most, and that means you're going to have cheaper ads. And by the way, I don't pay for any of my ads. They're free because they pay for themselves. I make enough money back for them that that pays for my ads, and I have a profit. That's where you need to go with this. So you've got to have proper training to know how this works. I'd never recommend that you just go in there and fiddle around. Anybody can go and fiddle around, but unless you love flushing money down the toilet, I don't recommend that. Next is list building, okay? This is what you need to be doing all the time. Who here has an email list? Type in the chat how many people you have on your email list right now. Because here's the thing. The reason why we want to build our list is because you do not own your Facebook or Twitter page. You don't own the contact information. You don't have any, basically you have no contact info that you can, if it went down or something happened to Facebook, you'd have no way to contact all those people that have been following you there. So that's called putting all your eggs in one basket, because that's what happened to MySpace, right? Do you remember MySpace? Yeah, neither do I, right? People spent years building their audience on someone else's platform, and then poof, it was gone, and they all had to start from scratch all over again. You don't own any of that information. But with email, that's yours. No one can take that from you. And by the way, it's here to stay, here to stay. Even though it seems old fashioned and we don't really send each other forwards anymore, people absolutely use email for everything transactional online. So that's a big deal. And it's almost like digital real estate. The bigger, more targeted list you build, the more potential you have for your next amazing album launch, your regular music sales, or your next crowdfunding campaign. If you have a bigger targeted list, you have a business. And I hear business gurus say all the time to people, if you don't have an email list, you don't even have a business. You got nothing. So this is something we need to be building all the time. Randy, you said 50% are truly responsive. That's actually pretty good. That's actually really good. So you're not doing too bad there. Okay. Next is copywriting. What am I talking about here? Copywriting. I'm not talking about, copywriting your songs for legal things so that people won't steal your work. I'm talking about the art and science of writing any kind of persuasive text that gets people to buy. So copywriting is unavoidable. You absolutely cannot avoid copywriting. You're either going to be awesome at it, mediocre, or maybe you suck at it, but you can't avoid it, because anytime you write a headline, anytime you send an email and you have a subject line, anytime you have to write an email, anytime you post on social media, anytime you write a press release, anytime you want people to buy anything, you are writing copy. Copy, it's a noun, okay? So you are writing text that will either persuade someone to do something or take some kind of action, or you're not, but you can't avoid it. So this is a skill that you must learn and master in the new music industry. That will completely set you apart from everybody else in the entire music industry, because nobody else cares they don't even think about this stuff. So the good news is that it's a skill that can be learned. Most people do not fall out of bed with the skill of copywriting, but you can learn this, and you don't have to be super smart. I don't care if you have a high school diploma. Some of the best copywriters in the world did not graduate high school. So it's not about that. In fact, it's very, very conversational. If you I don't know if you ever see any of my ads or any of my emails, I'm very conversational, but I'm very strategic with my ads as well. It actually takes, it's kind of a mix of data and a mix of intuition. And so that's why you got to be really tapped into your fans and your culture, because that will really, really help you. Next is video marketing, okay? Video is going to be the most dominant form of media everywhere soon, and if it isn't already now. Now, we need to learn how to use this to our advantage and understand the best practices to grow our audience, both organically and paid. Now, I don't know if you browse around on my page at all, but I've recently used a lyric video to get millions of views on a cover song. And what did I do with that? I built my email list. I used that to build my list for free. And I chose a song. I didn't realize that this was genius at the time until after the fact. After I thought about it, I was like, whoa, this is an amazing idea. I chose a cover song that crossed over into another niche market that fit really well with my culture. It happened to be a video game soundtrack. And I just happened to know, my friends told me about the video game. I was like, hey, what video games do you guys play? And they told me that, like, over and over and over. I kept seeing this game all the time. I was like, okay, this is cool. I got to try this game. And then I saw a whole bunch of cover songs from the soundtrack of that game. And I thought, hey, what if I do my own version of that? That would be fun. And I'm in the middle of writing an album, but like I said, I have ADD. So I took time away from my album to do this silly cover song just for fun. It only took me a day or two. And I sent it to my producer, and he was like, that's actually really good. Like, I was like, okay, well, hey, what if we just produce this real quick, like just spend a day on it. What if we just launch it for fun? Like, why not? It could help, get some exposure before my new album comes out. And we're like, okay, let's do it. So I did that. And I think I'm sitting at 2.7 million views right now. And I posted that just a few months ago. It was like insane. And so I had all that exposure, not to mention I'm building a video view audience. Facebook knows and can track every single person who has watched my video. And guess what I did this morning? This morning, I have a new t-shirt that I launched, and I am targeting people who watched that video. People who have watched my cover song video will be interested in the t-shirt that also kind of fits their culture, fits their vibes that they like. So powerful, powerful things that I can do with this, but I'm building my list, I'm marketing, and I'm making sales with video. Really exciting stuff. And then I have here ninja marketing strategies, because there's all different kinds of things that we can do with Facebook ads specifically. Retargeting. Oh my goodness. This is like when you keep seeing the same ad all the time in your newsfeed. You're like, why do I keep seeing that? Maybe that happened to you for this webinar. Maybe you saw my ad a whole bunch of times and then finally signed up. You're like, ah, dang it. Fine, I'll just sign up then. Well, guess what? We can do that with our music. Okay? We can do that with our music. Oh my goodness, Randy. Yes, Facebook is it's a totally different system than YouTube, but yes, Facebook is amazing at tracking. And can you teach how to get at that list? I can teach you how to build a list. Absolutely. Yes, retargeting is where a lot of the money is at, right? People don't often see something one time and then buy it. Right? So if I'm promoting my new album, if I just do one post on Facebook, if I just do one ad and say, hey guys, ta-da, I released my album today. I hope you like it. And then I left it at that. I'm leaving like 99.9% of my sales on the table. I'm not going to make any money from that. What I need to do is show them over and over and over and over and over and over. I've got to be in the newsfeed all the time. I've got to be in front of their eyeballs. I've got to remind them. They need to see me everywhere. In other words, you need to be omnipresent, but without spending 100 hours a week on this. Like, I want you to spend maybe 3 to 5 hours a week on something like this, but it's going to be so worth it. Okay, so listen, like I said, studies show that people need to see something 5 to 8 times before they even take action. Okay, so that means we kind of have to have a system to make that happen, because you don't want to wing this stuff. The other things we can do, I can upload my email list to Facebook and show ads to my subscribers. That's very powerful, because sometimes they don't open their email, but I also want to be omnipresent. I want them to see me in their inbox. I want them to see me in the newsfeed. I want them to see me on Instagram. I want them to see me when they go to read an article and then my ad is in the middle of that article. I want them to see me everywhere. We're basically going to follow them around the internet. When we follow them around, we're going to be what's called top of mind. When we are top of mind and they go, oh, I want to listen to some music today. Oh, I remember I keep seeing that Leah chick in my newsfeed all the time. Let me go look her up. Okay, that's how it works. And then we can create things like lookalike audiences that Facebook creates, like I said, that are similar to people who have done something, like engaged on our page or watched our videos a certain percentage of time, or that look like our email subscribers. Or here's something really powerful. I have a list of people who are my customers, right? People who are my customers. I have all their emails. I can upload that to Facebook and say, Facebook, find me more people that look like these people that have the similar demographics, similar psychographics, similar interests. And Facebook will create me a brand new audience of people who do not know me at all, who look like my customers. Holy crap. That is powerful stuff. So here is the more advanced part of how I built a 6-figure business, okay? 6-figure music business. Again, and I'm not talking about Savvy Musician Academy. That's not included in any of this. This is just my music stuff. So this is Facebook traffic, list building, email marketing, mastering copywriting, video marketing, and then all our ninja strategies that we're going to use online. And this is more of an advanced course we have called the Superfan System. It's all about every single one of these things. Each one of those things is a module inside the course, and I'll tell you about it later. I love hearing from my students where they're applying some of these things in some of their outside endeavors. So here's Ryan. He's actually a guitar teacher. And he said, I've been applying all I'm learning to both my guitar teaching business and launching my music. So I love this. He's just taking all this knowledge and he's like actually going for it with outside things. And he said, my teaching has taken off since I've been promoting and targeting my ads. And my student videos have not only doubled my student base, but I've earned my badge from lessons.com. And I'm now recognized as one of the best teachers in my state. I absolutely love it. And he said his business is blowing up. I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it that he's taking what works here and he's applying it to his other endeavors. This is the last method here. Where I'm actually just coming into this phase myself as a musician, okay? Like I said, I'm going to cast some vision for you because you need to know where this goes. This is the third strategic phase that you are going to work toward. You're not here yet. Most people are not here yet, but this is your future. This is where the successful artists are going to end up, okay? They're becoming addicted to marketing their music. It is addicting. I got to tell you, when you start getting into this stuff, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't stop. This is so fun. And yeah, we have some technical things to learn and all of that, but believe me, it gets really addictive. If you thought Candy Crush is addictive, just start watching your sales come in and building your email list. That is highly addictive. But in this phase, you're branching out into almost more of an e-commerce style of moving merchandise online. And that's what I'm really experimenting with right now. You're becoming a wizard at personal communication with your fans via things like Facebook ads, Facebook bots. I use Messenger bots, which is my favorite tool. They're very personal. They don't feel like a bot. And as you're doing this, you can almost predict your income every single month because you've really got the hang of it. So at this point, you are also investing back into your business. Like when you earn $10, you're putting $5 back in at least into advertising, and you keep growing your music business. Okay. And at this point, and I love this stage because all your ads pay for themselves. Like it's free. This is free advertising. And at this stage, you really have moved out of that hobby category and you're now in the new music business category. Congratulations, you are doing what almost no other musicians are doing yet. And by the time they realize, oh, I should be doing that stuff, you're going to be so far ahead. Like and the times will have changed again. Things will have changed by then. So at this point, you're going the distance. The results are speaking for themselves. It's very exciting. And you have to know, many of my students, they're still working up to this phase. A few of them are here, but this is the phase I'm in now, and I'll continue to be. And by the way, I always go back to phase 1 and phase 2. Those phases, it's not like you graduate and then it ends. We're always like in a cycle going back to the beginning, going back to basics. And when I make a new album, I go back and I look at my micro niche. I go back and I look at my branding and my image, and I go back to the basics over and over again. So let me tell you, this is how I built that 6-figure music business. This is every single component in what you got to do to make this happen. So here's Letitia. She said, I finally have a clue as to how to be a successful independent musician and actually make money from it. I've worked so hard on the creative side and I fell down on the business and marketing side. Leah has filled in the blanks for me and given me info that not even $12,000 vocal course has given me. So thanks again, Leah. So here is a quick recap. You now know all my music career secrets. This is how I did it. Started from zero, absolutely nothing. I had no advantages whatsoever. We learned there's hope. We learned the music industry is about to explode. We learned that to make it in the new music industry means redefining the dream. We learned that succeeding means first starting with that foundation, moving toward automating that fan building process. We learned that at that point, we will ramp up our sales after you are fully equipped. We learned that anyone with talent and determination can do this. We saw several case studies of students who are already doing this very thing now. Now, when I figured all this out, it was not organized or compiled like this. In fact, nothing exists online that is anything like this. Like I said, I had to stop studying the music business. I had to go take hundreds of other courses and articles, and oh my goodness, I had to take so much outside education from just the regular business world. There was nothing like this out there. So let me ask you now, I know we had limited time. I wanted to respect that. I wanted to give you a high-level viewpoint of the whole 6-figure blueprint. And given the time that we had, did I do a good job today of giving you info? And that even if you left right now, that allows you to see what you could do with your music right now? Let me know in the chat by saying yes. Did I do a good job? Was it terrible? Did you learn anything? Let me know. I know there's a lot of information. I hope I didn't overwhelm you. There's so much here, but I'm seeing the whole chat is filling up with yes, absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. OMG, thank you so much. Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. This is a lot here, I know. And if I spent time going through each and every one of these, we'd seriously be here for 3 months. Oh, this is good. Awesome. I made this slide in advance, which is very brave. So listen, everything I've shown you today is just a small part of a much bigger plan, but I wanted to give you as much as I could in about an hour. And I wanted you to see from a high level viewpoint so you can understand the potential you have. You have potential that is completely untapped. It's untapped right now. Now, let me just take a couple minutes and show you how we can work together if you really want to go to the next level. So here's just a few of my students I wanted to introduce. This is Ted Yoder. Ted Yoder had the most viral video on Facebook in all of 2016. He was second most viral, I should say. And he said, after 6 years of very slow growth, we had only 915 fans on our email list. In only 3 months of joining The Online Musician, we grew our email list to over 4,000. We have over 265,000 Facebook likes and 14,000 YouTube subscribers. We also had a video we did in our backyard go viral Within 3 days, it received over 50 million views, making it the second most popular video on Facebook. Within 24 hours, we were hearing from superfans everywhere. And if that's not a great return on investment, I don't know what is. Now, obviously, we're not saying everybody's going to go viral, but he never would have done that. He never would have done a Facebook Live had he not been working with me. And so I'm just so proud that I had anything whatsoever to do with that. I will never take credit for what you do, by the way, but I am honored if I can help to be a guide and just be part of your journey. Taylor Messplace said, I've been a recording artist for over 20 years, and it's been increasingly difficult. And Savvy Musician Academy has been an incredible resuscitation of my hope, as well as my recording career. I'm starting to see incredible results. I've made more money in the last month with the sales of recorded music than in the last several years combined, and it's only picking up every day. That is, I'm humbled by that, truly humbled. Ty Richards. I love Ty Richards. He says, I'm an artist, musician, producer. Before I started the Online Musician, I had no plan. I had a bunch of songs done and recorded, but nothing mixed, nothing ready to send out into the world. Months later, I have songs done. And when I started, I had 50 fans who were friends, not really fans. Now I have about 10,000 fans, and all people who really love my genre. They love my music. This is all due to this class. I've been doing music all my life. For the first time, I have real fans. My micro niche is defined. I know who I am. I had my own business, and I was horrible at this stuff when it comes to music. That's so funny. I highly recommend this class. So I am so honored to be a part of these students' journeys. We have hundreds and hundreds of other people like this, where I just couldn't put them all in this one presentation. So ask yourself now, I want to talk to you, okay? Are you motivated? Do you think that learning this system is something that can work for you? Okay, if it is, type yes in the chat. Do you think that learning this system is something that can work for you? I want to see yes in the chat, if so. And I also want you to consider the fact, if money was no object, is this something you need to be doing? Okay, I'm seeing the chat is filling up with yeses. All right, so I want you to consider this. This is the next thing I want you to consider. Your future as a musician. Can you imagine what life will be like when you know how to attract fans to you 365 days a year? Can you imagine what life will be like when you don't have to worry if your next album is going to sell? Can you imagine what life is going to be like when you are famous to a small but loyal, enthusiastic fan base? Totally different kind of fame. Can you imagine getting that recognition your music deserves from people who are moved by it and really appreciate it? Can you imagine what will it be like when you don't have to sell your fans anything, but the system does it for you? What will it be like when you make your first $20,000 to $30,000 in online music sales? What will you do with it? What will you do with it? If you can imagine any of these things happening, then it is possible, and you know that I can help you get there. So I want to introduce to you the Savvy Musician Academy Tribe. It's a complete step-by-step system to help you create, launch, and market your music online the right way, create a sustainable income through your talent, explode your fan base online, and fulfill your calling as a musician. Now, we actually have 2 tiers here. We have 2 different levels, and I'm going to explain the difference between the 2. So here's what you get with the tribe, okay? Savvy Musician Academy Tribe. You're going to get that full online musician course, and that's that first phase of the artist identity infrastructure. There's 6 modules on that. We actually went through all 6 of those modules when we went through each of those points. You're going to learn how to create quality music your fans will adore. You're going to figure out your why, your goals, a success plan that's going to work for you. You're going to identify your micro niche, which is the key to making this whole thing work. You're going to create an amazing music brand and an image that your fans resonate with. You're going to learn social media marketing. You're going to get a plan to drive that free traffic at first. You're going to master that. And you're going to know how to launch music online the right way. There's a 4-phase strategy to that. And a lot of times musicians only know 2 of them. And you're also going to learn how to build a buzz and a momentum even after your launch. Even, I don't care if you released an album 20 years ago, if you need to know how to relaunch that old music, I can teach you that, and we can put it on Evergreen. So in addition to that full course, I'm really excited. This is the first time I've ever offered anything like this. You're also going to get a private forum of musicians on the same path as you. You're going to be surrounded by the right people. You're also going to get monthly Q&A coaching from me. Okay, I'm going to be involved in your journey. You're also going to get monthly student reviews. We have hot seats every month where I'm going to really dig in, almost like we're going to do like a one-on-one coaching session where I can review your website, I can review your Facebook page, I can review your ads, and actually give you live feedback on that stuff. In addition, we've got monthly challenges, we have rewards, and you also get discounts to all of our other programs out there, and as well as our staff support. I've never offered this before. This is absolutely brand new. Now, here's what you get with Tribe Pro. Tribe Pro is in a more advanced level. And in addition, you're going to get everything I just said there. You're going to get the whole thing, but also on top of that, you're going to get the more advanced Superfan System full course. Now, this correlates with that second phase, that fan generation machine phase. This is where we get into that advanced audience research and learning to get inside our fans' heads. I teach you copywriting for musicians so you can write those magic words that get your fans to buy your music. You're going to learn email marketing, the art of building lifetime relationships with your fans, list building, and that sexy data that is very addictive after a while. I'm going to teach you how to create beautiful landing pages that convert hundreds of new potential fans every single week. And I have a whole module on advanced Facebook ads for list building, selling a ton of music. I also have a bonus module there on video marketing and creating video ads. Oh my goodness, this is very, very exciting. Now, in addition to all of that, you're also going to get an advanced forum of those elite musicians. You're going to get an advanced monthly Q&A coaching. It's totally separate. Also separate student reviews and hot seats, because they're kind of, you're dealing with a little bit different things than in that phase one. This phase two is a little more involved. And in addition, you get rewards and discounts just like Tribe. So that is a lot of stuff. Now, you might be thinking, all this is great, Leah, and I want to know how to do this, but I don't currently have any fans, and I don't even have professionally recorded music yet. What do I do? Well, I have put together a very special bonus for you for your very first steps as to how you can start building a fan base and get exposure, even if you don't have anything recorded yet. It's called the Zero to Hero Starter Guide. So if you don't even have a Facebook fan page yet, I can take you from the ground zero, and I'm going to show you how to ease into the whole thing. I'll even show you ways you can make money so you can fund your very first EP or album. All right, so here's what you're getting all together, okay? You're going to get this private community forum. You're going to get the monthly coaching Q&A, $4.98 value. The monthly student reviews and hot seats. This is like a one-on-one type of coaching type of stuff. That's a $9.98 value. Access to the online musician course, access to the Superfan system. That's what the pro level. You're going to get milestone rewards, discounts, and our staff support. And you're going to get the Zero to Hero Starter Guide. That's a $200 value. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's awesome, Leah, but it sounds like this is going to take me a lot of time. I have a very extremely busy life. What if I don't have enough time or energy to put into this to really see those results? Hey, I completely understand this, because welcome to my life. I have 5 kids in a homeschool, plus I run my music business, plus I run Savvy Musician Academy. As you can imagine, time management is something I deal with regularly every day of my waking life. Now, I've taken some elite training from multimillionaires who have shared their habits and their ways with me, and I found a way to make it work for us as musicians. It's a short class that I'm going to include for you as a second bonus, and it's called the Busy Musician Bootcamp. I'm going to show you how to find the time to work on your music, how to find more energy when you already feel drained, how to get creativity flowing when you're running on fumes, and some of the elite daily habits of millionaires that we're going to now use in our music business so that you can actually reach those music goals. I guarantee you that what you learn there could change your entire life, actually. It's really, really profound. Now, here's what you get all together. You're getting the community forum, the coaching, the student reviews and hot seats. You're getting access to the online musician course, the full Superfan system, which is the advanced stuff, all of these rewards, discounts, support, the Zero to Hero Starter Guide, the Busy Musician Bootcamp. That is a lot of stuff there. Now, you might also be thinking, okay, I like that there's a starter guide. I like that there's a time management class. That's all really going to help. But what about my budget? I really want to commit to this, but money is tight right now. Well, I want you to know that there is, number one, there's a module in the Online Musician which teaches you about how to set up the 5 streams of income online related to your music and talent. And by the way, I'm not actually charging those prices to you today. I'll tell you what I'm actually going to charge in just a second. But besides the module in the Online Musician, where I teach you the 5 streams of income, I'm also wanting to give you some cash generating ideas that will actually help you to afford to work with me every month and continue your marketing education. So I've included an easy cash generating ideas guide, so you never have to worry about how to come up with the money to support your music marketing education or your music career. So here's what you get all together, okay? The forum, the coaching, the student reviews and hot seats, the online musician course, the Superfan system, all of these rewards, the Zero to Hero Starter Guide, the Busy Musician Bootcamp, and the Easy Cash Generation Idea Guide. Okay, there's a lot there. And I have one more thing for you. You might be thinking, okay, so I'm getting these comprehensive programs of how to record, launch, and market my music. I'm getting a Zero to Hero Starter Guide, a time management class, a cash generating ideas guide, so I don't have to worry about even affording this class. But Leah, what if I need to raise a lot of money, like for my next album or music video? Like, what if I need more than just a little bit? How can you help me? I have a special bonus for you also. This is my successful crowdfunding tips guide. Okay, so I have run 2 crowdfunding campaigns. One did not go so well. One was a smashing hit. And there's very, very, very different things that I did for each of those. And so I put that all together in a guide for you. I'm going to teach you how to create a winning campaign, why crowdfunding is an essential part of your marketing plan. Even if you don't need that money, you should do it anyways because it's so essential. How to pick and choose contributor rewards and perks, how to manage the fulfillment and the perks, the admin side of it, and how to generate the most traffic to your campaign. This is a lot of stuff. So here's what you get all together. You're getting all of this stuff. You're getting these 4 bonuses right there. Now, if money was no object, would learning all of this to fulfill your calling and your dream as a musician be worth it? Now, pretend like you had the money. This is what I have put a value on each and every single one of these things. I'm not going to charge that to you today, but I want you to pretend that you had the money for this. Would it be worth it? Would it be worth it? I'm seeing yes in the chat that you need to learn all of this stuff. You need to learn all of this. So the question then is not, do you need to learn this? Would this be a good idea? Would this propel you forward? Would this get you results? The question is now just about making it affordable for you. And I'm going to make it ridiculously affordable for you. Now, you might be asking me, why do you put a value on all these things? Are these just like made up numbers or something? Heck no. This is exactly what it would cost to work with me one-on-one over a period of time for consulting. This is no joke. If we work together one-on-one through all of the steps of the artist identity infrastructure, that's the price it would be. If we work together one-on-one through all of the steps of the fan generation machine, if I personally helped you find your micro niche, help you with your branding, your email marketing, if I did your copy, if I did your advertising, if I was coaching you, if I was giving you the answers and I was helping you with your PR campaigns and all of this stuff, that's exactly how much it would be, which is still a fraction of what people pay for managers and for music colleges. And people tell me who have been through those music colleges that they didn't learn any of this stuff. So even business colleges are not even teaching this. If you've ever hired a coach for anything, it's not cheap. I have coaches. I have a personal trainer. It's not cheap, but I gladly pay it because it gets me the results. However, I'm not offering one-on-one coaching because as much as I totally enjoy it, it doesn't help change the music industry because now I'm limited. I'm limited to only helping a few people at a time. So I said I wanted to make this ridiculously affordable, and I am. Okay, so instead of those prices, you can work with me for just $57 a month for the Tribe level or $97 a month for the Tribe Pro level. Like, this is just crazy that I'm even offering this. Holy smokes. I'm making all that stuff available to you for that price. But the only thing I ask from you is two things, okay? I have two things that I ask in return. Number one, I ask that you commit to yourself for at least 6 months. Commit to yourself for 6 months and truly give your all. Don't do this with one foot in the door. Go all in. Don't dabble, okay? Decide to really try. And frankly, this isn't a system where if you try something for a week or two and expect some kind of miracle overnight. This is not a get-rich-quick program. Don't even go there. You need to be thinking long-term. This is not a magic pill. So if you're not willing to commit at least 6 months to your dreams and to your progress and your music goals and to this program, I'm actually going to ask that you not sign up. And number two, I ask that you promise to share your case study with me after you go through the course and you apply this training. And as you're getting results, I just want you to share that story because you are then going to be the expert. You're going to be an expert in your genre and in the music industry. And I just ask that you allow us to encourage other people with your story. Now, in the future, we will be offering all of this for a much higher price. At this point, we're looking for serious musicians who are actually going to exceed what even I've done in my music career. I want you to shoot for it, okay? We want more case studies so we can show the world how much untapped potential there is in the new music industry. I have a very special fast action bonus to help all of you procrastinators that are listening right now, okay? If you're not motivated just yet, this will get you going. Bonus number 5, okay? The first 50 people to sign up today, right now, first 50 people get my popular mini course called 10,000 Fans in 7 Days. I'm actually going to show you how to use a very simple Facebook ad strategy that attracts thousands of new real fans to your page within days, and in fact, within hours. Now, this is not a gimmick. We're not buying fake likes. These are real people, real profiles, and real potential fans. And what we're doing is we're using the Facebook algorithms to our advantage to do this. It's 100% legitimate and abides by Facebook's terms of service. I have thousands of musician students who are now using this. Their page engagement has gone through the roof. I have hundreds of testimonials of the same result over and over. I could never post them all here. We'd be here for a month. So the first 50 people to sign up today, my staff are going to keep track of you and you will be gifted that mini course. And when you join the Tribe or Tribe Pro, it's actually just going to appear in your dashboard. It's going to be there for you. So the first 50 people. Justin, that price, you will make thousands of dollars when you build your page. It's worth far more than $349. I can tell you that. I have made thousands of dollars. My students are making money. They're selling CDs when they couldn't sell it before by building their page of highly targeted followers. It's worth more than that. Okay, I want to ask you, how much would it mean to you to add another 10,000 highly targeted new fans to your Facebook page? What would that mean? What about adding another 3,000 to 5,000 new email subscribers that you can market to any day of the week? I can literally send out one email and make thousands of dollars with one push of a button. What about fans who recognize and adore your music around the world that you've never even met? How much time and frustration and money would it save you to have a shortcut to those things? Could you learn some of this stuff on your own? Absolutely. I spend personally tens of thousands of dollars every year on continuing my education. I don't stop for a minute. And I can tell you from taking dozens of courses out there that the best information is not on YouTube and Google. You're only going to get tiny pieces of disjointed information that you have to try and piece together like some kind of 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. So if you want to spend that kind of money, go for it. Have fun spending hundreds of hours doing that. I'm offering you a giant shortcut to what works right now. You're not going to have to sift and sort and put things in order and figure out, well, what should I do now? What do I do tomorrow? What do I do a month from now? I've already done all that work for you. I've already tested it. Thousands of other musicians are already using it and getting amazing results. So unless you enjoy torture, that would be really, really silly when you can skip all of that and have a thorough, organized support system and coaching to take you all the way through your music goals. So if you haven't already, you're going to click on the button on the screen here, and that will take you to this page. And all you have to do is click the Join Now button. You're going to see that big orange button there. And you can choose where you want to start at, the foundation or the pro level. You're going to see here, it'll take you down to this section. And you can decide, by the way, if you want to go monthly or annual. We have a lot of people choose the annual option. That's totally fine. But monthly might be a little more affordable for you month to month. If you choose the annual option, it will actually save you. It's the equivalent of 2 months for free for the year. So that's awesome. Choose the option you'd like, and that'll take you to the order form. You're going to enter in your information, and then you're going to get a couple of emails from us. You're going to get your confirmation, your receipt, and then you're going to get an email with your course login information and all your details there. So here's a little peek inside of the Tribe dashboard. This is my dashboard, so I can see all my courses here. You'll see the courses that you have access to. And here's a sneak peek inside the Online Musician dashboard. There's a place to submit questions here. There's a place for where we post the latest coaching video where I answer your questions and I can tag you. If you weren't able to be present for the live Q&A, I will tag you so you can actually just jump to the spot where I answer your question. We also hold monthly challenges, and which are totally optional but really fun, and I encourage you to join that. 1 month we might have a social media challenge where I give you a specific strategy. I'm like, hey, this is what's working really well for me on Twitter right now, really well for me on Instagram, and I want you to do these 10 things this month, and you're going to see a huge boost. Or 1 month we might go through a book together that I think will really help you learn some marketing skills. Here's a look at one of our forums, and we have a special place for you to have conversations about each module in the course. We have a place to introduce yourself, a place to meet up with other musicians who are in the tribe locally, which is awesome. We even have a place to help you with your micro niche. So we also have guides coming up very soon as well in the group. There's a lot more, but I want to get started with Q&A time. Now is the time, if you have a real good question for me, that you can ask me anything. Now, if you have any questions at all, email us at success@savvymusicianacademy.com. So if you have any questions about the programs or anything, that's a great way to get a hold of us. You can also contact us on Facebook Messenger. If you go to facebook.com/online musician, you can message us there as well. Our staff is on standby, and we're ready to take your questions. I have a few questions that are commonly asked that I'll answer right away. One guy, Chris, asked, I want to do this. I do, and I'm thinking I'm going to sign up, and I'm wondering how you have the time to implement all these things and do the creative part of music, writing, recording, photos, videos. So Chris, that's a great question. One of the things I do is, obviously it depends on your lifestyle. For example, are you perpetually making music? Because the way I do it is I work in seasons. Like if I make an album, I kind of focus time on that and then I take a break, right? And so there's like a season for everything. There's a season for creating. There's a season for promoting. There's a season for really ramping up your email list and all that. But so there's things that I do in seasons, and then there's things I chip away at every single day. So it only takes 10 minutes a day to do a couple of posts on Facebook or to engage your audience. I've heard some great tips like, set a reminder on your phone a couple of times a day. So for 5 minutes, you go in and you engage with your fans and you comment back and you post something new. You find a picture on Pinterest and you post it. And, there's a few things. So, all of that stuff is in the Busy Musician Bootcamp for how to find that extra time. That's a bonus that I'm including here, how to find the extra time and the energy when you've got a lot going on. I have 5 kids. I homeschool. I run Savvy Musician Academy and I run my music business. And, I'm a wife and a mother and all that stuff. So I can tell you, there's really no excuse for not making this work. If I'm able to make it work with my life, you can make it work for your life. I'm absolutely confident of that. Randy said, how do you identify your fans and make contact with them? For example, we're trending in Brazil and Russia in June on YouTube and know that most of the play was coming from a certain place. How do I identify my fans? Well, first, I get that artist identity infrastructure down. And once I find my micro niche, I can then start to do some market research on where that micro niche is popular. So there's a number of tools we use. There's a free tool on Facebook that I love called Audience Insights, and I can do a lot of research. Within like an hour or two, you can have a lot of information on where these fans are identified. And then we're going to build your page based on where these people identify as loving that micro niche based on their countries and places. And we can build your page that way. There's a lot we can do. And then eventually we'll do targeted ads promoting something to build your email list from those exact same countries. Netta said, are download sales in general decreasing? No, they're increasing. I don't know if you missed a slide earlier, but you know, it's online and streaming sales are kind of lumped into one section, but that's like 50% of all music revenue right now is downloads and streaming. So downloads are, you know, just more and more people are using that format. But I also love to tap into the physical collector fan niche. So that's a nice thing about finding a micro niche is we've also find people who are collector fans. If you think of like a Star Wars nerd or something, they collect all the figurines and the, you know, the comic books and stuff. We want to find those kind of fans in our niche who want to collect, you know, any vinyl and our t-shirts and bobbleheads or whatever we bring out on the market for our music. And so I'm not worried about download sales. There's so many other avenues to create income as a musician right now. There's so many. Another question. I've watched some of your stuff and I've listened to your music. It's really cool. Does your system work if the music isn't in a very specific genre? What if it's a wider range of singer-songwriter? How do you find the fans? Does it have to be from your personality? That's a great question. I would say that you actually do have a specific genre. You just have to find it. You have to dig a little deeper, and that's just going to take a little bit of work of going through my process of how to find your micro niche. There's definitely a way to find your twist. When you find your twist, you will use your personality. Your personality is also going to define your culture and your community and how that comes out and how you interact with your fans and the type of photos you post and stuff. Singer-songwriter will be your umbrella genre. Okay. So then you're going to have to find your subgenre and then your niche. And I can help you find that. And in fact, after this Q&A, I'm going to give you a download workbook to help you just start working through that right now. Benji asked, I'm an amateur producer living in Switzerland. Should I focus on being an artist in order so that people get to know me and they want their music to be produced by me, or should I just focus myself on being a producer? Ooh, that's a good question. You know, I think that music will speak for itself. So if you are an artist and a producer, well, produce your own music. That's going to be very good advertising in and of itself. But I do think you're going to want to pick one focus. I think it'll be difficult to do both and really get both off the ground. So, you know, I think it's going to come down to where's your heart? What do you love doing? What do you want to wake up in the morning? What will make you get out of bed in the morning? Is it going to be, I can't wait to produce somebody else? Or is it, I can't wait to launch my own album? And I would really focus your efforts there. And having said that, I mean, you can use your own music as, I would use my own music as an advertisement almost. Like it can be personal, but it's almost like, here's what it can sound like, you know? So I think that's a great way to promote yourself. David said, do you think email is truly cross-generational? Yes. Well, all you have to do is ask anybody you know, do you have an email address? I guarantee your grandma has an email address and, you know, my 11-year-old son has an email address. So if my grandma, if his great grandma has an email address and my 11-year-old son has an email address, I'd say that's pretty cross-generational. The bottom line is that we all use email for at very least transactional emails. Like if you buy something on Amazon, you get a receipt in your email. Everybody has email. Yes. Randy said, do you have a course that focuses on the automation fan generation portion of your talk? Absolutely. It is in the Superfan system, and that's in the Tribe Pro level. That's the $97 a month. It's going to get you access actually to both courses. You'll get access to both the Online Musician, which is that foundation, and you're going to get the advanced course, Superfan System, which focuses on the automation and the copywriting and the email marketing and the Facebook ads and all of that. Cheryl said, do you need a producer? Can you do it on your own? You absolutely can do it on your own. I've done it both ways. I've done it by myself and I've done it with a producer. It's totally different experience. You know, it depends on your budget. It depends on your preference. I like having a producer refine me. I'll tell you, I'm working with a German producer right now, and it's pretty interesting. I mean, for me, it was a struggle making this album more in ways than on my own, obviously, because I didn't have to run anything by anyone else. If I liked something, that was the end of it. With a producer, you're hiring them for their opinions on everything, right? Which means you're kind of subjecting yourself to scrutiny in a way, but you're also subjecting yourself to a better end result. And so for that reason, you have to just decide what's more important, autonomy, or do you want a better result in the end? In the end, for me, having a producer, I'm coming out with something I'll be happier with in the end. But that's a personal choice you have to make. Slav says, do you not promise your subscribers to keep their emails confidential? Absolutely, they're confidential. I don't sell my list to anybody else. When someone opts into my email list, say I'm giving away a free song and I say, enter your email here and get this free song. I let them know right on the front page that I'm not going to spam them and I'm not going to, sell their email address to anyone else. It's private and confidential. Someone asked, what method do you use for growing your email list? A link on a website, incentives for fans who sign up? Absolutely. I use everything. Like I said, I use video. So if you go to my YouTube channel, my videos, every single video has some kind of a call to action for them to sign up for a free song. So it's right in my description. I use ads to send traffic to a landing page where I give them a free song, or I actually have a kind of a little adventure going on right now where I send them through 12 emails. It's a series of just kind of fun stuff, like fun tasks where they get to know me and get to hear my music. So I take them through an actual experience. I make sure I have opt-ins on my website. I have opt-ins on my Facebook page. I kind of have a plethora of things where I'm present. But paid traffic is definitely the fastest way to get people there, is using ads to a landing page. Kirk said, do you have any special insights into the European market? I understand this should be a global concept, but I asked because I get a sense there's a lot of American audience here. Maybe I'm wrong. Feel silly asking the question. No problem at all. Like, I have not found there to be any difference whatsoever in other markets. The only difference is really what type of music is popular in places, but the marketing methods are the same. The methods and the principles are exactly the same. And in fact, we have students, we're getting more and more students from European countries now. They're just starting to really tap into social media. And I mean, a lot of European countries are ahead of us in so many other ways. But as far as music marketing, they're really just not aware of what they can do with their music. So I'm very excited to be able to work with more Europeans. Another question, I want to go to the next level. Do you have a course only for advanced musicians, someone that already has a following, been away from social media for personal reasons, with a new label plan? Absolutely. Like I said, that's our Superfan System course, and you'll get that in the Tribe Pro level, where you get access to everything, both courses, Online Musician and the Superfan System. And the Superfan System is taking you all through that automation, the ads and the copywriting, how to write emails, what emails to send, what should you say in your emails, how to get people to buy, the whole 9 yards. So that's the advanced system. And I'll be adding to that this coming year, by the way. There's a lot of stuff I'm learning right now as a musician myself. Michael said, honest question, how do you do this and your music? Your music is awesome, by the way. Thanks, Michael. I have a team. That's the way I do it is, I couldn't do it all myself. I'm not a one-man band. I'm not a one-man show. My husband, Steve, is really involved with me. He does all the operations of Savvy Musician Academy. We have an amazing team. Our staff is just, they're awesome. You're going to get to know them and you're going to come to love them. They're most giving, loving, helpful, supportive people. So that's how we do it. Beth said, what if you don't have music available to the masses yet? No problem, Beth. We have a lot of people starting from ground zero. That's where I started, with nothing. And we have a lot of people who have not even recorded their first official album yet. And they get started with the Online Musician, and that's in the tribe level. And you'll get access to the whole course that'll take you through the whole thing, where to start, what songs to pick, what kind of single, how do you choose a single when you want to do that, how to record the album, how to produce the album, how to, release it, and the whole, all the steps. I've thought of everything. It's very, very organized. You don't have to think so hard. Sharon asked, is it a bad idea to produce and master your own projects? Well, Sharon, I would say that completely depends on your skill level. I personally think it's a very good idea to hire professionals, and I would work really hard on building a fan base so that you could fund some of those things. If you can't afford it yourself, I would really say, we have one shot to really impress people sometimes. Like, people do judge a book by their cover. And if you put out your first EP, like I've released stuff that I'm not proud of before, but, I think the better quality it is, the better chance that we're going to have to win people over. So I definitely recommend hiring professionals whenever possible, unless this is like a secret obsession of yours is producing and mastering and mixing. If that's like, if you're really good at that, then go for it. But we do have several students who do their own, but I prefer to hire a professional. Let's see here. Annika asked, what is the best independent platform online to release music? Annika, the platform isn't the issue. There is no best independent platform. There's digital distribution platforms, and that's one aspect to it. But then you also want to make your music available on a personal website, some kind. There's some people using Bandzoogle. There's some people using Bandcamp. I'm on Shopify. That's a little more complex. But, the platform isn't the issue. The issue is, do you have an audience? The audience will go wherever you are. So the question is not, ooh, should I switch from Bandzoogle to Shopify or to Bandcamp? Like, oh man, if I switch to Bandcamp, I'll definitely get more sales. Not necessarily. That doesn't necessarily do anything. The question is, does anyone know you exist? I can help you with that. VJ said, I already started a Facebook ad and I built a fan base. I have over 6,000 fans. Do I still have to invest to grow my fan base? Yeah, I always am growing my fan base. Always. 6,000 fans is great, but how responsive are they? How much engagement do you have? What's your email list like? Because I'm actually more interested in the size of your email list than your Facebook page, believe it or not. There's a lot more we can do with your email list in certain ways. So like creating custom audiences and lookalike audiences on Facebook with that. If you don't have a lot of interaction engagement on your Facebook page, then we need to constantly be growing that. I just don't stop. I just keep going. And that's why I keep getting better and better results, because it's like a snowball effect. Allison, how do you make quality time with your kids and husband while you do all of this? You guys are very interested in my personal life. That's okay. I make quality, basically we schedule it in. We schedule everything in. We have an assistant and she is our calendar Nazi, and she helps us with absolutely everything that we do in our daily life. So, before that, yeah, we just had to schedule it in, and we just worked really hard to get where we are now and just be able to provide everything that we do, all the service to you guys. And so, we have date nights, we try to do date nights regularly. And I homeschool my kids, so they're actually home with me, and I'm spending time with them all day long. So that's really amazing. Slav said, could you please explain the special features of Tribe Pro? Sure. Why don't I go back to that slide for you? I can do that. Let me just go back. Tribe Pro. Let me go through my bonuses. Here. So with Tribe Pro, you're getting the Online Musician and all the bonuses that come with that. And you're getting the Superfan System full course. The Superfan System is the advanced one. So The Online Musician is the foundation that I really believe, even if you are advanced, you need to go through the Online Musician. You need to go through that because it's so, like, if you don't know your culture, if you don't know your community, if you don't know your micro niche, if you try to do Facebook ads, it's just not going to work that great. It's just not. So I highly suggest you go through the foundation level first and then get into that advanced, and you can get through it fairly quickly if you're determined. But that Superfan System course, so it's going to take you through 6 modules, doing all of that stuff. And then there's an advanced level of the forum. It's completely separate. The monthly Q&A coaching, the advanced student reviews and hot seats, rewards and discounts, all of that. Someone asked, would you say that your personal interests created the culture surrounding your music and merch, or have the interest of your super fans led those decisions? Actually, I would say it's both. It's like, it definitely has to do with me. So I didn't change my interests and hobbies based on what I thought they would like. It's that I really started attracting people who are very much like me. So I, like attracts like, right? So but what I did was just focus in, and I zeroed in, I dialed in what, so my music, just let me give you an example. My music is all about, fantasy, Celtic stuff. So, based on that, I post a lot of pictures of landscapes. It's like travel lust kind of videos. Things that look very surreal. A lot of photos, a lot of video. I use a lot of color, video game stuff that I know that I liked about them. I survey my fans all the time, and I'm going to teach you how to survey your fans. That's in the Superfan System. Teach you how to survey them and get a lot of really crucial data where you learn all about them. And then it's hilarious. You start finding, wow, they like a lot of things that I like. But I wouldn't post something, let's say, so my music is about this certain culture and community. I'm not going to start posting things that have nothing to do with it for the most part. Like 95% of the time, I don't. I'm not going to post, something about like mowing the lawn on a Sunday, when my Facebook page and my community is all about, fantasy metal and Celtic metal stuff and Game of Thrones and, King Arthur and all that kind of thing. It's not going to make sense. You know what I'm saying? But what I like, I know they like. And so what I did is just dial that in a little more and just hone it in. And I post a lot of stuff like that. Vijay says, what about YouTube? I'm confident of my work, but no effect at all. I don't build subscribers. Is the right way to promote from AdWords? I did that, but it takes a lot of money. Actually, I don't do any advertising on YouTube right now. That's something I may add to the Superfan System later when we get more into advanced advertising. Everything I've done on YouTube, and I have millions of views, I've done for free. And so it has a lot to do with strategy. And there's an entire module inside of the Online Musician that goes over YouTube. So I have very specific strategies that I teach you. There's specific keywords and tagging, and there's some research involved with anytime you post a video there, you need to be doing certain things. It's very similar to Facebook in some ways. But, if, like I said, if what you're doing for free doesn't work, don't throw money at it and spend money. Doesn't that make sense to you? I think it makes sense that if something's working for free, then you want to increase that by putting some ads behind it. But if it's not working for you for free, that means you don't want to put money at it. Throwing money at it isn't going to suddenly make it work. Tony asked, how important is it and how do you go about finding a producer? I actually have a whole lesson on finding the right producer in the Online Musician. So I spend my time taking you through that process. Clara said, I heard from lookalike strategies for my music in another coaching. What is the difference to your micro niche concept? I'm not sure I understand the question, but it has, okay. So, I mean, your micro niche is one thing. That's how you're identifying who you are, what your music is all about. Lookalike audiences is a Facebook ad strategy. So it's a completely different thing. Brandon said, how do I find the micro niche to begin with? Actually, right after this Q&A, Brandon, I've got a download for you. So you can actually go through that process, and I teach you the exact method to find it. Ulrika says, would you say having the other half working with you makes a difference, like breaking tasks down between the both of you? I do that with my husband, but we're talking about if we both need to be in 100%, not just me as a singer. I love it. I love seeing couples work on the music project together, even if one of them isn't so much a musician. Ted Yoder, who, he has like 120 million views or whatever on his Facebook live video. His wife, she's not the musician. She actually helps him with the marketing stuff, and they went through the course together, and they've really done a lot together as a team. So I definitely think it helps. But I do think it's really important that the musician also understands these concepts. Don't totally delegate the entire thing to somebody else. This is something you need to do. This is about taking responsibility. If we wanted someone else to do everything for us, then just go to a label and then they'll take all your profits. But this is about changing your paradigm, changing the paradigm in the new music industry. So definitely, I love the idea of you guys going through it as a couple, as long as you're both learning it. Someone said, I actually write 2 types of music. I have a CD out. It's Christian music that is 70s rock and jazz. I also produce hybrid orchestral and epic orchestral instruments. Sounds like 2 different micro niches. How do I approach this? I come across this every single day with musicians. They, understand we're very creative. We don't like being put in a box, and we like to experiment a lot. I always recommend that you choose the one that you feel really most passionate about and that has the most support and the most good reactions from, and really put all your focus, time, and energy into getting one off the ground. It's going to be hard to do more than one project at a time and really get a ton of momentum. It's going to get overwhelming. You're going to get burnout. So what I recommend is you put one on the shelf for now and get one off the ground, learn as much as you can, gain as much momentum as you can. And then when the time is right, you can do the other one as a totally separate music project. Janice said, am I out of the loop as a classical music composer selling sheet music? Absolutely not. We actually have some students doing that very thing. They're selling sheet music. That's one of, several different streams of income that you can use on your website. One of the things that I teach in the modules in the Online Musician is the 5 different streams of income. And selling downloadables is very popular. And so I'd love to see you do that. I think that's a really great niche. Simon said, should we release any music in order to get fans? Well, I mean, if you don't have any music at all, you're definitely going to want to release something so you've got something to work with. But just simply releasing music doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you're going to get fans. You've got to have a strategy and a plan behind that. And I can help you with that. I've got a whole plan for you, waiting for you inside the Online Musician. Bill said, what things can I do now to find funding for this course? That's going to be inside your course. I've actually got a bonus coming up this month for you that's called the Easy Cash Generation Ideas, or I've actually got 30 ideas for you to come up with the money every month. And I mean, seriously, I know 9-year-olds making money right now. They're buying items from the dollar store or things on sale, and they're selling them on Amazon for 3 times the markup. I mean, if a 9-year-old can do that, you don't have an excuse. No one has any excuse. It's simply a matter of selling 2 or 3 CDs a month. It's a matter of finding cash in your couch cushions. It's a matter, there's so many ways. I'm so done with excuses, from myself and from people. There's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. You can make this happen. This is your future. This is your dream. But I'm prepared to help you with that. So I'm going out of my way. I'm going to give you other ideas some of them are music related and some of them are not music related, of ways that you can generate cash so that you don't have to worry about affording this. I said I want to make this ridiculously affordable, and I have. So now you can get started. I like that. Ulrika says, this is really helpful and worthwhile sticking around listening to the Q&A. Awesome. Josh, the Zero to Hero guide is going to be inside the Tom Tribe as a bonus. So you don't have to purchase it. It's included. That's a bonus for you. Tim said, have you been concerned sharing your music uncopyrighted? Well, no, it's not technically uncopyrighted. Technically, the second I release music through a digital distribution platform like TuneCore or CD Baby, it's technically copyrighted. They have a timestamp of the day and the time of when I release that music, and it can't be changed. Like I can't go in there and change that date. It's done. So if I ever had to go to court for something, it's there. They make it so easy for us these days. Like I'm not worried at all. Allison said, I'm a horrible procrastinator and terrible at organizing. How do I begin to truly defeat this so I can get something done more than at a slow trickle? Well, Allison, I understand what you're facing as a procrastinator. And I shared this actually in our monthly coaching just last night. What you're facing is something called resistance. Okay, resistance. And this comes from a book called The War of Art. And he said, whenever you feel the resistance to do something like that procrastination, not getting organized, I don't have the passion right now, or like, oh no, I should do that and maybe I shouldn't, and oh, I know I should go work out, but I don't feel like it right now. Whenever you feel that, that is called resistance. And he said, the greater the resistance, the stronger and more powerful that resistance, the more important it is that you do it. So the feeling of procrastinating, that basically it matches the level of how important it is. So if you're feeling a little bit of resistance, it's a little bit important. If you're feeling like a lot of resistance, like, oh, this is painful. Like I need to like finish my album. I'm trying to write this song and it's like torture for me to write this song right now. That's telling you of how important it is that you actually do it. And the only way to break through that is to be a professional and do it anyways. You do it anyway. But I think, Allison, what will really help you, in addition to me just telling you that, is the Busy Musician Bootcamp. I teach you some systems for how to organize your day, even meal planning stuff, so that you don't have to think so much. So, because you are actually really fatigued with decisions, all of us. Everyone listening right now, we have something facing right now that we've never really had in human history, which is decision fatigue. Every day we're having to make thousands of micro decisions every single day. And you know what happens? Our brain wants to short circuit. And then we wonder why we're so tired. We're so tired all the time. And like, I know I want to do this, but like, where am I going to get the energy from? One way we do that is by systematizing, creating some systems in routines in our morning and in our evenings in our day. And one of the things we can do is, wear the same thing every day, things like that, like Steve Jobs and, Mark Zuckerberg. You notice he wears the same t-shirt every single day. It's that gray t-shirt or whatever it is. Like that's all he wears. And it's because it takes the decision making out of your day, and it gives you, your brain actually requires glucose, sugar, it burns calories to have to think so hard. So I know I can help you with that procrastination, but if you're feeling resistance right now, that's because this is important. And so I just want to encourage you with that. This is live right now. Whoever just asked him, what am I listening to right now? Is this a recording? No, it's live. Adam asked, what do you recommend as the minimum to maximum frequency for newsletter and posting? Well, it depends on where you're posting. Facebook, I post anywhere from 2 to 10 times a day, depending on like what's going on in my day. I'm not as focused on times per day as I am focused on consistency and good content. Quality is always going to trump quantity. And as far as my emails, I email out whenever I have something important. So probably a couple of times a month for sure. But it depends. Sometimes I have a series going. So I just took my whole list through a 12-week series. They got something from me every single week for 12 weeks. And then I kind of let it rest. And as I have, it depends on how people are coming in. Some people are coming in to that 12-week series, and other people come in through other ways. And then I just treat them a little bit differently depending on what they came in for, how they join my email list, what they're expecting from me. And then, I take them through kind of a customer journey in a way where they are introduced to me. They get introduced to my music, what I'm all about, my culture, my community. And then I offer them ways to buy my music. So it's a lot about just, you have to kind of feel that out, but you definitely want to be emailing regularly. Someone asked, how much time would it take on a weekly basis if I want to go to 50,000 in 1 year? Is that 50,000 fans or 50,000 dollars income? A lot of this comes down to where are you currently at? Where do you want to go? And what are you willing to do to get there? I can show you. I mean, if I spent time with you one-on-one, I could tell you exactly where you need to be spending your time. Luckily, we have a student hot seat every month where I can actually review all those things. You can send me your links. I can look at your Facebook page. I can look at your website. I can look at your email list. I can take a look at the emails you're sending. I can tell you exactly maybe what's going wrong, why you might be getting stuck, or what you might want to change. So that's in our student hot seats. And that happens in Tribe and Tribe Pro. The Tribe Pro is the advanced level where if you're doing advertising, advertising will help you get there faster. That I can tell you for sure, if you have some of those other things mastered. So I don't want to give you a timeline because it completely depends on your dedication, and it depends on what you're willing to do and how closely you follow the program. Clara said, I heard from, I read that one already. Let's see. Let's do the second giveaway and then we're going to do some more questions. We still have questions coming in. This is awesome, but I want to do the second giveaway. So here we go. I'm going to ask you a question, and the first person to put the correct answers in the chat is going to win. And we're giving you a Amazon Kindle Fire. Okay, this is awesome. I want one of these. All right, here's the question. What are the 3 phases of building a successful music career online? What are the 3 phases? I'm just going to take you to the end here while we wait. Okay. What are the 3 phases in building a successful music career online? First person. Oh, no, Blake, that's close, but that is what we should do in social media. That's what we do in social media. Looks like there's 3 phases. Oh, Clara, artist identity, fan generation, acceleration. You got it. You got it. You got it. That is awesome. And I think our staff will just confirm that for sure. Just so you guys know, there's only a few spots left to get the 10,000 fans in 7 days, because I said the first 50 people to sign up. That means we've had like dozens and dozens of people join already. So there's only a few spots left to get that bonus. I'm going to gift you for free my mini course called 10,000 Fans in 7 Days. And in fact, you can get 10,000 fans a lot less time than that, but I wanted to give you a little more leeway time there. So yes, you got to sign up today. You got to sign up now because those ones are going fast. Slav says, it's been a great webinar, Leah. Thanks. What if I do not have any recorded music yet? I'm afraid that simultaneous music development online business will be too overwhelming. Slav, I have a free bonus that's included in the tribe about, it's a get started kind of a guide, 0 to hero guide, where I show you what to do if you're just starting at completely ground zero. If you're starting at ground zero, I'm going to help you get started. So that's included in the tribe, and that's going to be in there this month. So I encourage you to get started now. You need to get started now, okay? Results happen when you take action. You've got to get the ball rolling. And so I want you to be taking in the information now. You can develop your music and start educating yourself. There's no reason why you can't do both. Allison said, I have an old 11-year-old album with no vocals. I was thinking about using it to get myself started or launched. Should I use it? So if it's an instrumental album, absolutely, you can do something with that. There's a whole micro niche based around instrumental music. When I was creating this webinar, actually, I was listening to instrumental music on Spotify. So there's definitely a need and a desire, and the market wants instrumental music out there. So absolutely, I think you can get started with that. Justin says, I got 1 million views for a remix I produced. I uploaded it to YouTube channel, and another YouTube channel ripped my video off. They did credit me. What's my next step? I just want to use the experience as leverage to draw attention to myself, but all I can think of is to submit more music to his channel. Justin, that's something that I would love to spend more time with if you were in one of our student hot seats or in one of our coaching days, because it's, I need to take a look at what all is going on in your channel. Unfortunately, people sometimes do that on YouTube. I have people take my stuff and upload it to their channels too. It happens. There are some steps you could take with YouTube, legally speaking, where you can ask for it to be removed. But I don't know, I'd have to take a look at their channel and just see what they're doing. Like, is it worth it or not? But the best advice I can give you is keep marketing yourself. I try not to pay attention to, I don't get caught up in, who stole my album and who's, pirating it and blah, blah, blah. I don't spend time on that stuff. I spend time on making money in my music business. And then none of that stuff matters. And it ends up being like free promotion in a way. So I think you just need to take your time and spend it on where it's actually worth it. Guys, the Zero to Hero guide, just in case you're wondering, where if you're starting from ground zero, you don't even have recorded music yet, that's included as a free bonus inside the Online Musician. That'll be in there by the end of this month, so you can get started from scratch. That's exactly where I started from. But there's a lot I've learned since I was in that place, so I can't wait to just take you all the way from the beginning. Jennifer asked, do you have a sense of how many hours a week you spend on social media? Very little, very little. For my music business, I probably spend maybe 15, 20 minutes a day. There's times when, and maybe that's even more than the reality. There's times when I will spend a few hours, like usually Saturdays, I make my shop day where I'm focusing on my merchandise and my ads. I usually once a week carve out 2 or 3 hours, and, I'll load up, posts that I want to schedule. I'm working on my music business. That's really focused, or I'm taking courses on other things that I want to learn that I can use in my music business. So I kind of focus that once a week. And then throughout the week, I'm just maintaining. It's just like acknowledging people. I just comment back. I'm posting things that appear in my newsfeed that I think my audience will think is hilarious or entertaining or inspiring. So that's very little time per day. And I also have, at this point, I have an assistant helping me answer fan emails and stuff, because I'm just at that point, right, where it's too much for me to do it myself. So that cuts down my time significantly. And when you get to that level, when it's time for you to hire an assistant, I can teach you a lot about how to find someone, how to hire someone, what to get them to do for the administration end of your music business. There's so much I can teach you about that. Chris asked, are we able to ask for feedback from your staff to figure out our micro niche during the course or by listening to our music? Absolutely. We have a forum. We have a topic in our forum just for micro niche for help, where people can post their music and get feedback. Our staff will try, but the community is really where it's at. Our staff, they can't be experts in all different kinds of genres. What's better is if you can connect with other people in the same genre and get the feedback from people who are more familiar with your music. That's why the community is so valuable. Like, it's worth the price in itself. Even if there was no course at all, it's worth it just for that community. Dwayne asked, do you have to copyright your music over at the Library of Congress? No, not really. In fact, I don't really go to great lengths to copyright my music, because when I publish it through my distribution platform, a lot of that stuff is it almost makes it obsolete. You can copyright your music online. There's links you can just fill up forms and do that kind of thing. But no, I've never done a Library of Congress. Is it possible to build superfans singing only cover songs? Absolutely. There are, what's that vocal band I like? I can't remember them off the top of my head, but they have built their entire music career based off of singing cover songs. And that's all they do. They put their own twist on it, of course, but that's all they do. Maybe the Piano Guys. They've built their entire career off of doing cover songs, instrumental cover songs. So there you go. I mean, people are just breaking the molds every which way. There's no excuse to not succeed. So there is a ton of room for that. Someone asked, do you use a blog to stay in touch with your fans? Is that one of the strategies you teach? You can have a blog, and it's great for SEO on your website, but mainly I keep in contact with them through Facebook Messenger, through my Facebook page and through email and ads. So it's all the things I'm doing is how I stay in touch with them. Just a last couple of questions here. What forms of payment do you accept? We have all major credit cards and PayPal as well. Can we cancel our payment anytime? You can. However, I'm going to ask that you commit to this for at least 6 months. If you're planning only trying this out for a month, then I'm actually going to ask you not to join, because you're not going to get miracles happening overnight. There's a lot to learn. If you're a musician, you're serious, you got to give this at least 6 months. So I really ask that you're going to make a commitment. And if you're feeling the resistance on that, then you know this is important. You know this is something you've got to do. And someone asked, how are we given the courses? So whichever level you subscribe to, if it's Tribe or Tribe Pro, you're going to get access to all your courses are going to be in your main dashboard. They are audio, video, and worksheets, and you get to work through them at your own pace. And we really encourage you to go through it in order. So even if you think you already know something, you can always refine and just make your process better. How do I get support from Leah and SMA? You're going to have access to the community forum, and you get to ask me your question every month for Q&A coaching day. And in addition, I'm also doing student reviews every month where I'll spend some time reviewing your work, your Facebook page, and your website. We also have email and Facebook Messenger. And we do have a phone number as well if you want to talk to someone on the phone. Pentatonics. Thank you, Christopher. I was wondering. Thank you. That's the vocal band where they became famous for covering other people's songs, but they have, they're a vocal band and they just put their own twist on it. They're really phenomenal. Do you have any guarantees that I'll make 6 figures or some kind of timeline? Absolutely not. There's no way I can assess where every individual is at in their artist identity, or in their fan generation process. It took me 3 to 4 years to get to where I am now, but that was me doing it the slow, expensive, hard way, me taking like a bazillion business courses. It will completely depend on you and how bad you want this. How committed are you to actually learning this stuff and then executing it? Because you could take in all the knowledge in the world, and if you don't do anything with it, don't expect results. How do I know if I have good enough music to be able to join? Like I said, many people join who don't even have their first recording yet. So if you think, I think it's a great time to join when you can surround yourself with other quality people and get their feedback. If you already have some music, I recommend you survey your fans and your family and your friends and get their feedback, because we can always improve. And how do I know if I'm ready to join with where I'm at with my music right now? So the Tribe covers all the levels of where you might be, right? So you need to master that artist identity infrastructure, that foundation to your micro niche, your image, your brand, the social media, your culture. You start with the foundation Tribe level. But if you have a ton of drive and ambition and you want to power through all that and then get to the advanced stuff in a shorter period of time, then I recommend the Tribe Pro level. How much money will I need to invest outside of what I'm paying for Tribe? Well, it totally depends on where you're at and what you want to do. Like, do you have an album yet? If not, well, some of your resources are going to go to that. And don't forget, I'm going to teach you how to make some money on the side so you can help pay for some of those things. I'm going to teach you how to build a fan base so you can fund and do crowdfunding and all of that. If you're in the email list building phase, then the question is how fast do you want to go? Do you want to go slow or do you want to go fast? Because you can spend $3 to $5 a day. You can spend $100 a day. How fast you want to go, how serious you want to get about it. It's totally up to you. And hey, Christopher, he signed up for the Tribe Pro. That's awesome. Does this apply to me as a singer, songwriter, or like different kinds of musicians? This applies to whatever your goal is as a musician. And I even recommend this for industry professionals like managers and producers, because learning all these things is actually going to increase your value by tenfold. Like, you can take your artist through this process, and by taking them through this process, you're going to make yourself more valuable to the industry. Like, if I was a producer, if I was a manager, I would soak up every detail of these courses like a sponge. And then I would take my my artists through the process. I would take them through the whole thing, the artist identity infrastructure, the automation, and then the scaling and acceleration phase. I would take them through each of these phases, and that's going to make me invaluable in the music industry. All right. So, hey guys, while you're still here, I am going to give you, let me tell you how you get the free downloads. Because remember I said you're going to get the slides from this whole presentation, and I'm going to give you a workbook on how to find your micro niche. The way you get that is by clicking the button. Okay, it's going to take you over to where you sign up for a tribe. And what you do is scroll down to the very bottom of that page, and there you're going to find a button that says download, and that's how you get your downloads. Okay, so just click on the button here in the chat where it says getsuperfans.com. You can also just type it into a browser. It'll take you over to the page where you sign up, scroll to the very bottom, and you'll see a downloads button. And so it's going to give you the slides so you don't have to forget, or you don't have to worry about forgetting anything in this class. And then you're going to get a free workbook on how to find your micro niche. So I hope that's my gift to you. I'm so glad you're all here today. One last question. It said, I'm an artist with a band Facebook page and a personal artist page and website. So you have a band Facebook page and website and a personal artist Facebook page and website. I'm trying to figure out how to merge them together, if that's a good plan, since I'm making original records now. Would it be worth to start over when I have more followers on the band page? Man, yeah, that's a big question. Man, I would love to answer that. I don't think I have enough information. I'd have to take a look at what all is going on in your whole scene there. You know, I need to see the Facebook page. I need to see your websites. I need to understand more about what you're doing. That would be a perfect hot seat question where I could really spend some time with you, a good 20 minutes, just digging into your personal situation. So it'd almost be like one-on-one coaching in a way, except our whole group would get to benefit from it. And that's the other thing I love about coaching day and the hot seat day is there are people asking questions that you never would have even thought of. Like, I could work with you one-on-one. It'll be really expensive, but you're not going to get the benefit of all the other questions people are asking that you didn't even think about. And so when they're asking that, I'm answering things from all different kinds of angles and ways that just, it wouldn't have come up if you and I were working one-on-one. So it's actually a better deal doing this group situation because you just get to hear so many more strategies coming out. So man, I would love to work with you more closely. I hope that you do join the tribe and see you inside there. Well, guys, we're ready to wrap this up. This was an amazing class. I had such a great time answering your questions. I had such a great time teaching you. I'm so glad that you guys learned a lot. It was a lot of information, I know. So I hope to see you inside the tribe where we can just work together and we'll just, plug away at it. We're just going to work away at each phase until you are ramped up and you are going to be the expert marketer. You're going to be the expert marketer in your genre, in your niche. I can't wait to help you get there. So go to getsuperfans.com. That's how you sign up. I hope to see you inside there later. Take care, guys.